So today we're kind of going to venture into the unkindest cut kind of activity today. We are going to be doing some peach thinning, not thinning the peach trees. We're going to be thinning the peaches. And I tell you, this is the number one thing that I think most fruit tree owners struggle with, but it is the number one way to assure that you're going to have a harvest of maybe not the most numerous fruit, but the best tasting and the juiciest fruit. Because, you know, if you're like me and you have peach trees, you know, on these two larger peach trees, I could easily get 200 or 300 peaches that'll come all the way to maturity. The peaches I get are a little bit bigger than a golf ball, and they're not sweet and they're not juicy unless you wait till they're at the very end of the ripeness. Then they're almost no good to eat. So the way to make sure that you get a decent abundance of fruit, but a delicious fruit, is by thinning them out. On a tree that might produce 200 or 300 peaches, you really only want 20 or 30 nice, big, juicy peaches. And the way we do that is, you know, if you look along the branch, I already did a little thinning, so it's hard to show. Like, here's a good section right here. So there's 1, 2, 3 peaches right there. Well, we don't want 3 peaches right there. What we want to do is try to make sure there's a 6 to 8 inches between peaches. So, but since there's only those 3 peaches on this branch, we're going to take off the middle one and leave those 2. Now, like I said, that's not 6 to 8 inches between peaches, but we have a long branch. So that's the general gist of it. We'll go through all these branches, and the peaches aren't that easy to see this year. We lost a lot of fruit to that frost. We had a severe frost, and we did lose a lot of fruit. Yeah, here's another little branch right over there. Oh, see, on that branch right there, there's 3 peaches. So we're going to leave the 2 outside peaches and take that middle one off, so we make sure we have 6 inches between the fruit. So sometimes it's hard to see, but if you look here, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 fruits, right? 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So what we want to do is look at these. We want to kind of, you know, we only have room for, really, to do it right, we would leave 2. So, and we want to prioritize the ones that hang down over the ones that are up. We like peaches that hang down or to the side. The peaches that grow straight up, they would be likely to get heavy and break themselves off. So let's start with removing the smallest fruit. See, those are really tiny compared to the others that are still on there. So let's leave those 2. Again, there's only 3 inches between the 2, but they're the only 3 on that whole branch, so we'll leave those. On this branch, there's only 1, so we'll leave it. On this branch, there's only 1, so we'll leave it. Now we've got a naturally good situation here. See, on this branch, we have 1 here, and then we have 2 over here. So we're going to take this one off, this one of the 2. So now we have 1 and 2. So that's well, there's another one right there. So there's 1, 2 here. So let's take off the smaller one. You know, they're about the same size. So let's take off the one in the middle. So that leaves 1, 2. And then we keep going down. There's another one there. So that's actually pretty perfect. So on that one branch, which is as big as a pencil and 3 feet long, we have 3 peaches. That's perfect. So this little nectarine tree, peach tree, nectarine, I don't know what it is. I know that I planted a tropic snow here, but it puts out nectarines every year. And it puts out peaches. There'll be some fuzzed fruit on here and some bare fruit. So on this tree, by my count, I left 15 fruits. And I took off 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So I took off 10. Now we had hundreds and hundreds of flowers on here during the bloom. And I think we would have had many, many more fruit but we had an extreme frost while those flowers were open. So we got 2 more trees to go. Let's get to it. There's a good situation here where we have a good setup and a bad setup. On this one twig right here, there's 1 peach, so we'll leave this one alone. On this twig right here, there's 2. There's 1, and about 8 inches later, there's another, so we're gonna leave that alone. But then look at this one. We have 4 that are clustered right here together, and then there's 1 right here. So we're gonna leave the largest of the one on the end, and we're gonna take out these 2 center ones, which is gonna leave 1 peach here and 1 peach about 7 inches away. Now, yeah, we just took out 3 peaches that we potentially could have eaten, but they're not worth eating. You get 300 peaches that aren't worth eating. It's better to get 20 big, juicy, delicious peaches than 300 peaches that nobody wants to eat. It's kind of common sense. And yeah, if you aren't very confident with your skills on a ladder, you know, find somebody else to go up on the ladder for you. But I mean, I spent a lifetime working at height in trees on ladders, so I feel more than confident with my abilities to tackle this 8-foot A-frame ladder. I'll show you one more time. See this branch right here? We have 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We have 5 on here. So the biggest one is here. So let's take off the 2 that are right next to it. And then that leaves 1, 2, 3. And these are about 7 inches apart. These are about 5 inches apart. So I'm going to leave those 3. It's a little bit less than my 6-inch rule, but you know, there's only 3 on the branch. And I'll show you another thing that I'm very likely to do at this time is do a little, very minor bit of canopy pruning just to allow more air circulation in the canopy. I might pop off a few dozen of these little water sprouts like this. You know, after you do your thinning pruning, you'll have hundreds of those, thousands of them. And what that does is protects the bark. The main good thing it does is it protects the bark from the blazing solar rays, but it also clutters up the inside of the tree, and it's harder for breeze to get through the tree, so it'll promote fungal infections. So while I'm out here thinning out the fruit, I might be inclined to pop out a few dozen of these. But like I said, if it's protecting the bark from the sun, I would not cut that one. I would cut the ones on the north side of the tree, like this one. That one's not protecting anything, and that's going to let just a little bit more airflow get through the canopy, which is hugely important in protecting against fungal infections. So I think this section is really done. I'm actually taking off very few peaches this year. Usually I would have to take off 5 times this much, but like I said, we lost a lot of peaches in that frost. There's a little tiny one. So, I mean, Mother Nature did a good job of thinning the fruit with the frost. Now, I don't know if you can see behind me, but here's 1, 2, 3. And the first 2 are the nicer looking ones, so this third one is smaller, so I'm going to take that out. So that leaves 2 on that twig, which is less than the size of a pencil, but they're about 7 inches apart, so they're fine. And you just have to keep moving the ladder around. We'll pop off a few of those that are not on the top and are not protecting it from solar rays. You just got to keep moving your ladder around. So this is also the time of year where you want to start watching out for peach borers, and to look for them. Just go to your go to your tree and look for signs of gummosis. That's where the gum is flowing out, the goo. And if it's down near the base, if it's up in the canopy, don't worry about that. It's just kind of like the tree forming a scab. But if you find it down low, where the trunk meets the ground, that's definitely something to be concerned about. As the peach tree borer, adult, it's like a wasp, and she'll lay her eggs here, and then the juvenile is like a grub, and it'll chew its way in, and it will chew the cambium layer out of the tree. I don't see any on this one. No signs on this one either. All clear. Okay, so all three are clear of signs of peach tree borers. The last thing I would do right now, well, about the peach borers, you want to check those later in the year too. In Florida, we start seeing them in April. It's end of March right now. You'd really want to step up your vigilance starting mid-April all the way through October. Just keep checking the bases of your trees. Look for that gummosis. If you see the gummosis, just get a screwdriver or pocket knife, start digging, and pull that little worm out of there. It's like a maggot. The only other thing I would do this time of year is fertilize with nothing but potassium or potash. You could use ashes, hardwood ashes if you want. But I buy sulfate of potash, which is an organic form of potassium. That's all it is potassium. So, or you could use langbionite, and then you'd be putting out some calcium at the same time. But this time of year, I thin the peaches, I fertilize with potassium, and I check for peach borers. Well, that's it. Job done. So on this little small peach tree, I count there's 8 peaches left. I count 8 up there. And then on this little small tree in the middle, I have 15 left. Matter of fact, this year it put out nothing but nectarines. There's no fuzzy, no, I'm sorry. This one does have fuzzy fruit and nectarines. And then on this big one, we have about 25. So about 25 fruit left on this one, about 15 left on this one, and about 10 left on that one over there. This is what I took out. You can see these are our peaches here and our nectarines here, and a few handfuls of small pieces out of the interior to improve air circulation. So that's it. That is thinning your peaches. Very important if you want to have good, juicy, healthy peaches. Thanks for watching. Thanks for following. Happy gardening, everybody.